What if I told you that one of the greatest wars out there is imagination versus reality? And it all starts with you.
I don't think there's any place for me in this world.
It's not what the world holds for you, it is what you bring to it.
Hello, I'm Diego, and here we experience films through literature and psychology. And this time, I want to talk to you about how I was reminded about our imagination's potential to reshape a limited reality by watching the protagonist of this amazing show, Anne with an E, getting to personal goals slowly, like a turtle, but steady. Don't worry, no spoilers. Feel safe to stick around. Let's have a chat. I feel like sometimes people are restrained ideas, always looking for acceptance and companionship. But those ideas lose the sense of personal identity, fitting in, becoming shaped by their environment, and transforming into just one more manufactured product. But Anne, she's genuine and genuinely misunderstood. People with amazing enthusiasm for the world, observing beauty in small details like we take for granted, looking for possibilities to express herself and questioning the norm, and everyone's like, ugly duckling, shut up! But there's always someone there that doesn't see in you an ugly duck. More like society is the huge ugly monster. Although that friend you're making might feel a little bit overwhelmed because of how emotional you can be when you express yourself and think about sensitive topics, how passionate you are about every day as a new opportunity, that friend learns your great value, seeing a beautiful, badass duckling. Or you just might be that friend. Learning. Watching Anne and Diana together, I felt the serotonin levels increasing in my brain as they show how friendship can be an essential source of energy and inspiration and just crazy new ideas. Imagination, to truly thrive, I believe, requires honest company. A good friend. This kind of reminds me of the Bridge of Terabithia. Two kids, Jess and Leslie, become friends, and both come from different social backgrounds. One comes from a wealthy family, and the other one doesn't have as many privileges. And one day, Jess and Leslie go to this creek near their homes, and they build a sort of imaginary sanctuary. They are rulers of this world, calling it Terabithia, and they keep it hidden. And this magical kingdom becomes a place to deal with personal hardships. And the point is, this imaginary world becomes an essential tool for Anne to establish and develop friendships, playing around and creating stories to the point of making other people feel understood, making other ugly ducklings feel loved, finally appreciated. It's hard to fit in when you feel like no one else around you might not really get you, but imagination is not meant to fit in. It's meant to defy the idea of fitting in. Do you realize how many great thinkers were not appreciated in their time because their ideas sounded crazy or unrealistic? The way Anne naturally and genuinely is just shows how the environment can control your actions and restrain your emotions. And Anne goes through dark phases in her life that become extremely relatable. You feel Anne's struggles. Your rebel outlook on issues like the ones tackled in the show, through Anne's eyes, like racism, gender inequality, or freedom of speech, can impact the people you love, because then you can show them how chained they are to social norms, rules that have been taken away their individuality from them. And so imagination becomes the rebel friend they have always needed. The ugly duckling becomes a blessing. If you think you're not that imaginative, think again. What Anne displays throughout the whole show is that psychological resilience. We all go through that psychological resilience. I cannot emphasize enough how much hope this beautiful character gave me. Her new ideas are often ignored, questioned, laughed at, mistreated, and destroyed. But she always comes back and fights even harder. We get to reshape every rebirth we go through. I'm telling you, when you see Anne grow throughout the show with the help of Diana and her family and new people she meets along the way, you see how much courage it takes to try to make your world, your reality, a better place for the people you love when you have to deal with deep personal issues that can bring you down if you allow it to be that way. I think she goes through a process called individuation. Carl Jung names this process as a coming to selfhood. This involves allowing the unconscious to communicate with consciousness. The first step is to unmask the persona, the social face an individual presents to the world. Carl Jung said that fundamentally, the persona is nothing real. He or she is a commitment between the individual and society as to what a person should apparently be. He or she takes a name, achieves a degree, holds a position, he or she is this or that. In a sense, all of this is real, but concerning the essential individuality of a person, it is only a secondary reality, a product of the commitment. You unmask Anne and you see how her unique imagination bursts and becomes straight up unchained. It's the core of her selfhood. That's what she does. She makes people around her unmask themselves. And there are some positive and negative results. And so, it's time to reshape reality. One of the worst sensations is feeling and thinking, I can't. That's the core of the restrained idea, thinking, I can't. Of course you can. It doesn't matter what your age is, you can reshape your reality. No, it's not going to be an overnight change. It rarely is. Most of us are turtles getting to the finish line, but it's all about progress. And Anne, although she feels great impotence at first when an obstacle seems unbearable to cope with or unfair, she never holds back and is always willing to take a risk. And the change, it doesn't happen right away. But the other restraint ideas are willing to follow you because you can give them a reason to use imagination to destroy the restraints holding back who you really are. Your caretakers, your family, your friends, your professor, well, you know. It's not, I can't. It's not, I can't. It's, how can I? Imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality. Imagination is often bullied, judged, feared. What Anne has taught me is that imagination can actually be a way to cope with reality, but to face it as well. And it can truly thrive with the people who support you and believe in you. You get to think, how can I? How can I? And you get closer to think, I can. I can reshape my reality. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this video or found it useful. And for real, Anna with an E it's unique. It's an actual gem and I love it. I love that show. If you want more content like this, give it a like and you may want to subscribe as well. Watch Anna with an E. Let me know what you think down in the comments after you watch it. We'll see each other in the next one. See ya.